Oh, where is he? He should be here by now. Oh, well, good morning to you all. This week's 5 questions revisited. You know, Paul usually asks these questions, but he doesn't seem to be around at the moment. Oh, he's such a busy chap, always very reliable, so we must be running a bit late. So, looks like you've got me today. Right, let's go. Good morning, Peter.
Good morning, Paul. God, you've aged a bit.
No, it's not me. Jack, you remember the last time we did this? 4 years ago, at the first 5 question time. Anyway, the first question today is, what are your lasting memories of COVID, eh?
Well, Jack, 4 years ago, our severely disabled son Matthew came back to live with us. And it's mainly because of the COVID restrictions. It was a horrible time for people that were in homes, in hospitals. They couldn't be visited by their friends, relatives, and he couldn't come to visit us as he'd done for the last 17 years. So it was quite difficult to us to adjust to Matthew's care. But it's something that we've never regretted, really. And the other thing I remember was that COVID had an impact around the world. It was a pandemic, and I think we keep forgetting that the whole world was affected. And the one thing that we were particularly interested in was what was happening with hospital ships in West Africa served by Mercy ships. And we realised that they had to pack up, go home, back to base, because they couldn't serve, but they were able to deliver vaccines around the countries they were serving, which was great. One of the other things I remember was going up to Ringsted car park, and there were about 13 cruise ships out to sea in Weymouth Bay, and that was amazing because these cruise ships just couldn't go anywhere, couldn't do anything because of the restrictions that cruise ships had in those times. And that was quite a memorable thing for us. Yeah, the other thing I think we remember is that our beach hut, which we've had for about 72 years on Greenhill at Weymouth, we just couldn't put it up anymore. We couldn't put it up that year for the first time. So we all met up down on the same pitch on Greenhill with the house group and had a nice cuppa together. But it's just a memorable time.
Thanks, Peter. They were hard times indeed. Now, next question. How did you engage with God when we were not able to meet in church, eh?
Yeah, well, even before Matthew came back to live with us, when they went into lockdown, we were sort of questioning how Matthew fitted into church services in particular, because it's not something that appealed to him. So we were re-evaluating that. So it was a good time to take stock. But during lockdown, we were particularly encouraged by Paul and James's short time together at keeping the fellowship together, and that was really valuable for us because it's first time that Jackie and I could sit down and listen to the same sermon for 17 years, I think. So that was really enjoyable as a family. Yeah, the other thing, Jack, is that we used to think that our church services with lots of singing and preaching was not something that appealed to us. I think COVID made us value each other, the fellowship. And so house groups and prayer groups and things were so much more important to us as church. And that's where we felt that more comfortable with on a Sunday. Well, worship has taken on a different meaning to us over the last few years, especially with Matthew. We used to enjoy sitting and having 20 minutes of singing his favourite songs, and that was an important time for us of keeping together as a family. We still long for Graham Kendrick revival time, so that's really important to us. But most importantly, I think that worship has become different to us in the fact that I'm recognising worship as a time when we valued caring for Matthew, and the time we spent with him is become a part of worship to us.
Finally, Peter, what has changed for you since?
Well, Jack, the most important thing I think we've achieved or learned over the last few years is we valued Matthew, but also we've been longing to find a placement for him. And eventually, January this year, we were offered a tenancy for him in Dorchester, which was great. We've been to various social care meetings, and Chris Loader, the MP, has been very supportive of us. But it's been a challenging time, but also we've acknowledged the struggles that social care system have in this country, and it's something that needs to be addressed, and we can do all we can. But the main thing is, I think we valued so much our small groups, our home groups, as being church which has helped us in many ways, practically, prayer, and in various ways just feeling that support behind us. And thankfully that we've got this placement that we've longed for so long. And the song that I wanted just to share with you, because it's one that we sing with Matthew, is by Don Moen, and it's called God Will Make a Way. God will make a way, there seems to be no way. He works in ways we cannot see. He will make a way for me. He made a way for us, and we thank God for that.
Ah, thanks, Peter. Oh, I think I can hear Paul. Hey, Paul, it's all done. I've done the interview. Ah, you promised to come, and now you have. Come and sit down.
Sorry, Jack, I was a bit late. I see you've done the interview. Thank you for your help, mate.
That's great. You kept your promises, and that's a bit like God. He always keeps his promises, doesn't he?
Yeah, he certainly does, Jack. And that's going to be our theme on our next Messy Church on the 11th of May.
Ah, so come along and join in and help out. It's great. Old Peter will be there.
And there's lots of crafts and great things that you can be doing.
And a free meal with cake. That's great. Bye for now then, Paul.
See you
Bye,
later.
Peter.
Bye.
Bye,
Thank
Peter.
you. Thanks, Paul.